Good morning and good evening and good afternoon. So this is Ashfaq and coming with another topics, fingerprint trial and print standardizations. So this amazing video will bring you some amazing concepts about the fingerprint trials, importance of fingerprint trials and print standardizations. So the biggest concern in printing is a repeatability. Having a high rate of variations between print runs is never good. If you have a high rate of variations in your printing run, so this is not very good. So improving your repeatability should be your utmost priorities. So first of all, you need to understand what is the fingerprint trials and how can you do this one. So fingerprint is calibration process that makes sure your printing press is capable of printing the lines and textures you need or your customer needs. It also estimates dot gains to create a dot gains compensation curves. Fingerprint is also baseline fitness test for your printing machines. So every printer should use the fingerprint test for periodically. If you are going to install some new printing press, if you are having an old printing press, so fingerprint trial is compulsory or essential to conduct in your press room periodically. So let's start uh, a brief introduction about speakers. I'm Muhammad Ashfaq Khan, more than 15 years extensive experience in management, productions, and quality controls, and work in number of national and multinational companies. So I also possess extensive operations, technical troubleshooting, and problem-solving skills. Certified international professional trainers from ACI USA, author of number of research papers and technical books. Also working as a technical trainer, a consultant with CPEX Global, and also I'm co-founder and managing partner of CPEX Global MENA. So this is a brief introduction about myself. So I'm going to speak about fingerprint trial in our today's session. So we are going to divide these sessions into two parts. And first part, what is a fingerprint trials and what are the importance of fingerprint trials? So in second part, we will also discuss what are the required conditions to conduct the fingerprint trial in our press rooms. So let's start with questions. Why fingerprint 100% reliable means of identification? So why fingerprint is important? Because fingerprints cannot lie. Fingerprints never change, and fingerprints help to track criminal records. Similarly, in printing press, fingerprint also help you to save time, to save money, and to standardize your printing process. So imagine a printing machines are human body. How far, how good can they go with their performances? So body finger can save crime and doesn't change even you grow and get larger or older. Similarly, the fingerprint can save cost, waste, machines. That time never shows variations from job to job. So fingerprint trials both need scanning output examinations. Like if you a human body, if you need a fingerprint of human body, this also need a scanning. And if you want to conduct fingerprint trial on your printing machine, this also need a scanning with spectrodensitometers, so to determine the capabilities for their specific intended reason. So both human and machines are same. In both cases you need a fingerprint calibrations, fingerprint measurement values. So both need scanning output examination to determine their capabilities for their specific intent. Similarly machines and similar human body. So no matter if old or new printing machines, there are no gases. Every printing machines need to be checked for their image output capability. What type of your machine has a capability to produce text, and what type of your machine has a capability to produce the images, dot gains, or overlappings. So in order to receive a pre-press images, input accordingly. So this is very important. Then similarly to every human, every printing press has its own set of characteristics, brands, images carriers. Like if you have a two different type of machines, or like maybe one you have a new machines and another you have in your press room you have old machines. So both machines will carry the images in different ways. Substrates also very important, and what conditions we required for substrate during the fingerprint trials. Hopefully, we will discuss in our part two. Inks, how inks behave with the during fingerprint trials. Then ink transfers, additives, speeds, and what type of additive we are using, or what type of additive we need to use during the fingerprint trials, and what should be the environmental conditions during the fingerprint trials as well as your normal production run. So therefore, all printing machines need to perform a fingerprint to identify its characteristics and capabilities. What are the capabilities to produce the text, and what are the capability to produce the colors? So this is very important. Then, and that because fingerprint is X-ray produce used to identify those characteristics and then use them for calibrating and proofing the repro process. What type of designs or what type of specifications you are aligning in your repro or in your pre-press area. So this will help, the fingerprint will help us to align the pre-press characteristics and capabilities of the machines. From dot gain to dot gray balance, fingerprint will give us a detailed explanation about the dot gain to gray balance, from minimum text to minimum printable lines, what type of lines we can produce from the printing machines, and what type of lines we require from the pre-press areas, and what type of text we can produce with our inks, with our machines. So from positive to reverse text, what type, either some machines have less ability to produce a reverse text. So this will help us to calculate like what are the capabilities of machine to produce positive and reverse text, from print registration to print overlapping to color trapping. Then there are characteristics that can influence the hues, shade, tones, and tint of the color space. So all these the fingerprint will give us the capabilities of machines to monitor all these variables of the printing. So based on the fingerprinting, it is possible to align printing process to global printing standards and local targets like ISO 12647, like ISO 2846. So we can align our printing press variables according to ISOs and FOGRA specifications. So how does it work? F- Input and output dot. So where every printed image is made of dots of various size, and every printing machines print those dots bigger than originals. If you have a 10% dot on your designs or on your plate, so it's not possible you print with 10 only 10%. No. So you will get the bigger dot on your printing machines when you are printing actually on your machine. This means we need to reduce the dots to be able to print the original image. So input dots, you are giving the input dots and then you are getting the output dots. So this is very important. You are getting the minimum dot gains. Then fingerprint one, like here you want to print this dot, but actually you get on the printing. So what you put on the digital film, this dot, and what you get on the print, this dot. So it means during printing you are getting the larger dot gains. So this so fingerprint trial will give us a real dot gain size, how much dot gain you are how much dot gain this printing machine will give to you in print run. So fingerprint one contains basic elements, enable the possibility of measuring all printing capabilities through standard printing elements. But the most important all is about dot gain output of the machines. So this is very important. Then another dot gain compensations. In this example, the fingerprint resulted in 28% dot increase on 50% tone value of the original file. Like a dot on file, 50%, and actual dot on fingerprint 78, but the target dot are 68. So it means this table showing that this variation showing that you during fingerprint you are getting more dot as compared to on file and as compared to your target dot gain. So you need to minimize this dot gains. So this will help by conducting the fingerprint trial on your machines. So in order to print image to the match the global target, software will decrease the percentage difference between fingerprint and targets. So the example on the right side that the software will reduce 10% on the 50% dot area of file to achieve a print result of 68. So this is very important. So this is one impact of a fingerprint trial. Then dot gain compensation. When we compare the dot gain curves, so press dot gain curves, then dot gain curves 100%, then print linears. So typically we could linearize the curve to flat levels as in original file, but the image print output would result to light. The amount of dot gain in printed image has always been present, at the least the optimal dot gain had always been there. So the human eyes expect to see a certain amount of dot gains, but not actually. So for actual dot gain, you need to use a spectrodensitometer or different types of equipments, instruments to measure what type of dot gain, how much dot gain you are receiving on your print run. So dot gain, what dot gain compensation explain to us to LS. So this explain to us original image to be printed, what type of dot gain we or what type of dot gain we have in our original image that we printed on the during fingerprint trial, printed output results without any compensation, like without any compensation, what is a printing dot gain output, and linear compensation where dot gain from press has been 100% reduced. So image is too light. So this is very important. So if you see the C, the in A, the original image to be printed, but here the print out too much dot gain for green. So if we are getting too much dot gain, it means the shade or color of the printed design is changing. So here the linear compensation dot gain from the press has been 100% reduced. If you are reducing dot gain, then you will get the right color. So this is, so dot gain compensation we can determine, we can measure with the help after conducting the fingerprint trial, and fingerprint trial will help us to determine the capabilities and characteristics of the printing machines. So dot gain compensations. Here you can see dot gain global standardizations. So in like this dot gain difference depending on the printing press, technology, age of press. If you are if you have a new press, so the dot gun you will have a different dot gun. If you are using different old press, so the old press will have a different dot gun. Maintenance also very important. Consumable and substrate, what type of inks you are using, what is the concentration of the ink, strength of the inks, solid content of the inks, and hopefully in the second part we will discuss all these points. And then substrate, what are the characteristics of the substrates. So dot gun can and should, however, be readjusted accordingly. So the fingerprint is then a must to perform in every single, very important to find every single printing press in order to find its printing capabilities, and then create profile to be used every time to image is transferred from the file to image areas. So this is very important. If you have a new machines, so don't start your machines without conducting a fingerprint trials, or if you have an old machine in your press room, then please don't uh, conduct the fingerprint trial periodically, maybe once a year or twice a year in your press rooms. So fingerprint 2 contain dot gain curve for a fingerprint 1 and a color chart with infinite hues, shades, tints that result in the form of trapping in the cover color overlappings, which result with interpret how will the press produce the colors space in order to create a color management profile. So this is a very important. The fingerprint 2 explain the color management profile will then be used to create a color managed press predicted proof. So some images will often also be included in the fingerprint 2 as a visual references. So in the last, importance of the fingerprint color management, because the in fingerprint trial, when we conduct the fingerprint trials and then we measure the text as well as overlapping color trapping. So this will help for in the case of color management. The color chart is read with the customized spectrodensitometers. So the respective software analysis the data and create a color profile. Then we create a profile. These profiles are then applied to digital proofs. So first we conduct the profile, make the fingerprint trial. Then we take the measurement. Then we create the profile for according to these measurements, according to these values, and then we create align these values profile with the digital proofs. So the digital proofs simulates the result of printing press using color profile. So color management provided a unified environment for handling colors where common color reference is used at each step for production from photography to design, plate making and base. So based on this color profile that we aligned with the digital proof, so we produce our we standardize our inks, we standardize our plate, and we also standardize our design according to this profile. So what is the ultimate goal? So the ultimate goal of fingerprint is to match the color of image display on the monitor with the ones produced by your printer. So after making the profile, you will be able to match the colors that you are that the design colors are displaying on the pre-press on monitor with the colors you will produce on the printing press. So this is very important. So without fingerprint, like you cannot uh, estimate the you cannot like think the color that you are going to make in your pre press or you are seeing in your monitors, it will match on printing press. So it is only possible when you have a correct and accurate fingerprint trial on your printing machines. So thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully in the next video we will come with the second part. What are the required condition and before conducting the fingerprint trial. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.